Hey crafty friends, how's everybody doing? So it's me. I know you haven't seen me in a while, but I am here. I have been recording my videos just showing my hands because I don't know, I think my hair has been a hot mess. I have been trying to grow it long, so it's getting there, so that I can donate it to an organization called Hair We Grow. And I picked this organization because they are in New York, which is perfect for me, but also because they take gray or white hair. And, that's what I have now. It's all gray and white, right? So I love that they do that. And it was one of the few organizations that did take it. So that'll be happening sometime next year. And if you're wondering why am I telling you this, because why not? Anyway, so today's card is actually this card here that I made, and I'll show it to you a little bit closer, but I changed it up a little bit, and you can make it as easy or as hard or involved as you want. So in my card tutorial, I'll be using dies, but on this one, I just used my trimmer to do all that. So super simple, super easy. You can make lots of these in no time. And, with the holidays coming, we need lots in no time, right? So the other thing I want to share with you, and I'm sure if you're subscribed to my email, you have seen this, but Stamping Up, when you join my team, it's $35 and you get to pick $125 worth of product. Is that not the coolest thing? I mean, you can be a discount shopper and join my team. You don't have to sell anything. You don't have to do any demonstrations unless you want to. So, and I'm here to support you in either way. Or, so for $35, you get to pick $125 of product. Or you can choose the second option for $99 and you get to choose $189 worth of the products. So if your list is like really long, you know what? I would say give it a try and see what it's all about. Nobody's going to hold you accountable for having to make your quarter unless you want to. And that doesn't happen until March 31st. So, and it's not that much. It's $300 a quarter, which works out to $100 a month, which works out to about $80 a month with your discount. So you start at 20%. Hey, listen, and that's how I started. I started to just use it as a discount for myself. And then I saw the value in Stamping Up and I wanted to share it with everybody. So anyway, that's my story. If you have any questions or are interested, please be sure to click that link and join my team or ask me any questions. I'd be more than happy to answer them. All right, enough chitter chatter. Let's get the camera turned down. All right, so this is the cute card that we are making. Isn't that beautiful? I just love the gold on it. Oh my goodness. And that embossing folder, the Jolly Holly, so pretty, so pretty. And then when you open the inside, simple, but I added another element of that embossed piece, just a little scrap there on the side. So if you're interested in the tutorial for that, I'd be more than happy to send that to you. Just be sure to sign up for my newsletter and that will go out on tomorrow. So the dimensions will be for this particular card. Now keep in mind that the other card that I'm going to do today is a little bit different because I use dies. You don't have to use dies. This is the more simplified version. However, the embossing just really takes it up a notch. So anyway, let's put that aside and we'll get started. All right, so I've got, and I had to put notes on these pieces because I kept forgetting what was what and which is who and da. You know how that goes, right? So anyway, let's go over what we're using today. A lot of stamps and an embossing folder. I know, crazy, right? So I'm using Words for the Season because I wanted to use the inside. Oh, you know what I'm thinking? Is this going to fit now? I don't even know. I might have to change this up a little. But I wanted to use this sentiment. May the magic of Christmas fill each corner of your home and heart. I thought that was so pretty. So that's one. Then I am using the banner die. I'll show you in just a sec, which is this one here. And that comes from the Words for the Season dies. These are all words. We've got Merry Christmas and New Year and Happy Holidays and autumn and greetings and Halloween. So very versatile. You know, pick and choose which one you want to use. All right, then, so that's part of the Words for the Season bundle, and you can order that for an additional 10% off when you bundle them. Then I am using Jolly Holly. I am using the, what are these called? Oh my goodness. I know they're berries, but holly berries. So we're going to use that, and I'm using Merry and Christmas. And if you notice, this is kind of curved, but those sentiments are straight. So I'm going to show you how you can get those curved to fit in that. This is the dies that goes with that, and I am using a die cut for the holly berry. I'm using the stylish shape dies. This is definitely a favorite of mine in my craft room. Use it all the time. And here's something that I haven't used yet, the Dotted Circles 3D embossing folder. So we're going to use this. I thought that this would look really cool on the card as well. So let's get started. All right, as I said, I've got a lot of my pieces already cut down, and I've got notes on them because I was making a sample of this card last week, I should say. And I forgot to emboss the piece, which was very important to emboss, and I completely forgot to emboss it. So I need to emboss this. That's why the little note is on there. And I've got some parts and pieces. I did do some die cutting in the beginning, you know, to just speed things up. I need to emboss this layer. This is going on the inside, and I need to die cut a circle. All right, so, the other, I'm using the DSP that I'm using two kinds. One is Flower Garden Foils, and these come in a pack of, I think there's 6 in here, 2 of each color. And we have Strawberry Slush, Pretty in Pink, I think, or maybe Flirty Flamingo. Let's see, Pretty in Pink and Strawberry Slush and Cloud Cover. So basically what these are, if I can get them out of the pack, there we go. So we've got a, kind of like a plaid, I guess. I don't know, right? Is that kind of plaid-y? And then we've got our florals here, and this is the Cloud Cover. This is Strawberry Slush. And then in Cloud Cover, we also have that plaid design. And then we have the Pretty in Pink with the floral and the plaid. And then we have that Strawberry Slush in the floral and then the plaid. So we're using that. I am also using the, what is this called? This is called Elegant Pine Snowflakes. This is such a pretty paper, and I haven't really started using this yet, so I thought it'd be perfect for this particular card. So anyway, all right, let's get our die cut and emboss machine. All right, and let's start by die cutting first. Okay, so put this here. All right, so I need to get this piece here. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to die cut this snowflake here with the stylish circle die, the stylish shapes dies. Okay, so this is going to go right here. And I'm going to line it up so that I get most of the pine. And right about there. Is this the right size that I want? I think I need the smaller one. I think this is the wrong size. Nope, that's the right size. Okay, it looked bigger over here. I don't know. Anyway, all right, so we're going to do that. Right here, we're just going to line that up. Just looking for pretty equal spacing around those little pines that are on the edge. And then we'll just kind of put our number 3 plate, and we'll run that through. And then I'm going to do some embossing. So let's see what we got. So here's our die cut. Isn't that pretty? Now we're going to do some embossing. So let me put that aside. And let's see, I need to emboss this piece and this piece. And actually, I need to emboss this as well. So we're going to need that too. So let's see if we can get... well, I was thinking, you know, maybe I should try to get more than one on here at a time because it's such a large embossing folder. However, I do want to get the center circle, so I'm going to put that there, and then we're going to line this up. Actually, you know what? It's hard to see, so hang on a second. Let's see, we're going to put that there, right? And then I'll close it the other way. I think I could see it better this way. Okay, and then I'll close that up. Okay, there we go. I'll flip it over and we will emboss this piece. Okay. All right. And let's see how that looks. Oh, doesn't that look beautiful? Look at the texture on that. Wow. Wowzers. Okay, and then we're going to emboss the cherry cobbler piece. So again, I'm looking for pretty equal spacing here. Let's see. There maybe. I like to get that center part, so let's just get this right. I think that's right about here. Okay. There we go. That one, and then we have one more piece to emboss, and then we're done with the machine. Nope, we're not done with the machine. I need to die cut the label. So let me get this all done, and then I'll be right back. All right, so I'm done with this. Let's put this away. Because the other pieces are small, I can use the mini cut and emboss. So let's start putting this together, and then we'll get to, this is for the inside, that's for the outside, and then, what is this piece? Oh, this goes on the inside too, okay. See what I mean? It's just like, I keep getting confused. There's so many layers on this card, which makes it so pretty, but to me, it's just confusing. But we're gonna make it work. So that's gonna go like that. That'll go on the front. This will go on the inside. Okay, I think we got it. I think we got the layout down. So let's start with the inside. I'm gonna add some liquid glue to our embossed piece. Okay, we're going to put the, now this just has a very tiny border around it. So I'll make sure I get it lined up correctly. Okay. That. Then this is going to go here in the center. And then we'll stamp our message. Now, understand that this card doesn't have very much place to write. So we're going to have to get a little creative with that, right? You could sign your name on the other side. So let's leave that there, okay? All right, let me put this on the front. And we'll add those other two pieces to the front. And then we can do our stamping. And we can color our little holly berry. And I'm going to use my, what do you call them? The watercolor pencils. Again, this has a small border all around. The one thing I really like about this card design is that it really is versatile and you can change it up. You can change up the sizing to fit your needs. You know, play with it. I was playing with it a lot and I came up with, you know, a couple of different variations of it. And that's why I went with this variation actually. My other one has, I used the square dies. And then that first one I showed you, I didn't use any dies. I'll put that right in the center. About here. And you'll notice that I didn't use any dimensionals yet. And that's because this has a lot of layers already. So that, and then we're going to add this piece down. Put that right there in the center. Doesn't that look so pretty? I think it does. I hope you agree with me. All right, let's set that aside to finish drying. Let's do a little stamping. And we're going to use cherry cobbler. So let's see, actually, do I want to die cut this? I think I want to die cut this piece first, so I'll put this here for a minute. Okay, let's just put that here for a minute. I think it's much easier to die cut this first. However, so that we're going to do this all at once, let's color the holly berries. Now, I have two because just in case I mess up on one. And if I don't, then I have two. So let's see, we're going to use garden green. And what is this? Where's cherry cobbler? Is this it? I think that's real red. There's cherry cobbler. Cherry cobbler, and then I need my blender pen. I always call these blending brushes, but they're not. They're blender pens. Okay, so let's start with adding some color to this. And I actually think what I'm going to do is the center part, I'm going to use Old Olive. I would use shaded spruce, except I don't have a shaded spruce. Not in this one anyway. I don't know if it has one in the other one. I don't think so. They did come out with another set of another assortment, but I think I have both in here. Naturally, they don't have all the colors. That would just be too much. Okay, so let's do, let's do Granny Apple Green for the center part. I think that would look nice. And it's such a small area, you probably can't even see the color. Now, I did use Memento ink to stamp this, and I pre-stamped it a while ago, so it's completely dry. But normally, when you're using the watercolor pencils, you want to use StazOn ink. All right, let's do our cherry cobbler. And use the blender pen. Get a piece of scrap paper. And start blending out the color. See how bright that gets? Once you start blending out the color and you get rid of all those lines. So that this blender pen is really nice for that. Just blending out all those lines. And we'll do the other one as well. And you could leave some white space. You don't have to do the whole thing. It actually looks more natural if you leave a little bit of white space. And then to get rid of that color, you just wipe it clean. And then we'll do the Granny Apple Green. Just one little strip there, wipe that clean. And then we'll do our little berries here. All right. And that's good. All right, so now we can die cut these pieces. So I've got my mini cut and emboss machine and my plate. All right, so this piece here, I think I could get this all at once. Should be able to. And then this one we're going to put here. Okay, and we'll run it through. Hopefully it doesn't move. Good. Actually came out nice. All right, we'll set that there. This is the piece that I need to do my stamping on, so we'll leave that there. And then I'm going to die cut this holly berry as well. And if it comes out good, we'll put one on the outside and one on the inside. And if it doesn't, then it's okay. I'll tell you though, using the mini and the magnetic magic mat is definitely a game changer. All right, so there we go. That came out nice. All right, let's do some stamping. I've got my silicone. No, this is not my silicone craft mat. This is my Pierce mat. Let's zoom back. Oops. Zoom back out a little bit since I zoomed in. Okay. And I'm going to do this in cherry cobbler. So I think I'm going to do one word at a time though. So let's get our Versamark. Since it's a photopolymer stamp, you know my little trick to reduce the staining. All right, so we're going to do Christmas, and then we'll stamp that there. And then we're going to put Christmas over here. So what's nice about the photopolymer stamps is you can bend them any way you want. So even though this is a straight stamp, I was able to bend it to how I want it on here. Although it came a little too curvy, but that's okay. That's okay. All right, I'm going to put this in here because otherwise I'll lose it. And where'd my Mary go? Right here. So Mary now is going to curve. I always do that. Mary is going to curve, I think, this way. Let's make sure. Yes, okay. So we're going to ink that with Versamark, then in that, and then we're going to do that here. That smudged a little, so let's redo that. I think it's smudged because I put it on the edge there. So let's do that again. Okay. Oops. Oh, now it's got to go the other way. Okay. Because I flipped the cardstock over, now it's upside down. So Mary has to go the other way. This has to curve upwards. And as you know, Stampin' Up! Is no longer going to have the red cling stamps. We're going all to the photopolymer stamps. The supplier is no longer supplying us with them. So that's why they're doing this. So there's Mary. Perfect, perfect. And let's do Christmas again. Good. Okay. And we'll do Christmas right over here. Actually, this came out even nicer than the first one, right? Yep. That definitely came out nicer than the first one. All right, let's, all right, I don't need this anymore. Put that there. Let's stamp this. And because the red cling rubber does not stain, so I don't need to do the Versamark. Let's make sure that fits, and it just fits. So I'm going to come up a little bit higher here. Actually, no. Yeah, let's come up higher because I leave room to the bottom to put our holly berry. Okay, good. All right, let's close these up so we don't stick our fingers in there. All right, this is going in here, so I'll put that right there in the center. I'll take one of the holly berries and put it right down here. I think that looks good there. Right down in the middle. Yes. Pick this up with my tweezers. I like to call this my third hand. Perfect. Isn't that pretty? Just love the way that looks. Okay, now we can add this to the front. Oh, that looks so nice, doesn't it? You know what I want to do, though? I don't know if this is going to work, and hopefully I don't get too inky, but I kind of want to just dip the edge of this. You know how I love to do that, right? Just think that adds so much more to just a plain white image. Just a touch. Okay, then we'll use some tiny dimensionals. Do I have any in here? I do not, but you know what? I have these. These will work. These will work because I can use the sides. I smudged it on the good side. Yeah, not good at all. Okay, so that's that. I'm going to add that right here to the center. Kind of on an angle like that. I like it like that. And what do you think? Do we put these here? We'll put it right there. Let's see, will this fit? It should be good. Yes. Okay. I'll add that right here to the edge. Wonderful. And I kind of toyed with the idea, went back and forth, back and forth. I was like, do I put gems on it or not? So let's see what the gems look like. Now I'm going to use, my idea was to use the traditional sparkling sequins. I think they're so pretty. And you know what? I think I am going to use them. So let's get this size here. They're so pretty. Just add a little extra sparkle to the card. Put one down here. And maybe we'll put another one down here. Maybe we'll do a little one down there. Let's do a little one right down over here. Oh, not that far. How about here? Goodness. Right there. Okay. All right, friends. So there you go. What do you think? Is this not the cutest card? Look how pretty that is. Wouldn't you just love to get this for Christmas? I know I would. I might not give it away to anybody. So we have our outside, and then you open it up for the inside. And like I said, you have plenty of room here to write a beautiful message. So that's that one. Then the other one that I just showed you is here. And you know what? I got to clean this over here because I would hate for this to get on my white cards. Okay. I love this laminated sheet that I have here. It's great. Okay, and then this was the other one that I made. My Halloween inspired happy birthday card. Isn't that cool? I just love the way that turned out. And then you open it up and we have some more candy and plenty of room here to write a message. So friends, you'll have to let me know which one of the three is your favorite. I know that they're all different. I personally think I like the last one I just did, just in my opinion. So if you have any questions about Stampin' Up! And joining my team, please be sure to reach out to me. If you're ready to join, then click that button below the video in the description, and you can join my team. Take it for a test drive. As I said, nobody's going to hold you accountable if you decide that you don't want to stay on. But you get a discount, so hey, why not? If you're buying craft supplies, why not take advantage of that discount? Friends, thank you so much. I truly appreciate you watching, commenting, liking my videos, sharing it with your friends. And if you haven't done so already, be sure to give me a thumbs up on YouTube. It's helping me to grow my channel, and it shows my content to other viewers who are interested in stamping. Until next time, have a great day. Bye-bye.